back for the second half of Community Connections with Cindy Zipf of Clean Ocean Action. We've been talking about liquid natural gas and the proposal to ship it, freeze it basically, and ship it to the United States. Before the proposals came in, we were discussing, there's several of them, different forms of how they get it off the ship into New Jersey. Did you know much about it?
Didn't know very much at all about liquefied natural gas. Knew about natural gas, of course, but had no
every
real
time you
clue.
turn on the stove.
Yeah, every time you turn on the stove. But didn't really understand what liquefied natural gas was. And was it something that would help with our carbon footprint? Was it something that could be beneficial? We didn't know whether it was going to be, you know, the knight in shining armor, or whether it was going to be a Trojan horse, whether it was going to be something that would lead us into a bad energy policy choice, or was it something in between, which is why we did the report, which is why we spent so much time researching it. It's 60 pages. There's an executive summary, which really talks briefly about the issues. You can get it on our website at cleanoceanaction.org. It's got over 450 citations. I mean, we really did a thorough examination of the issue in it. And the bottom line is that it is antithetical to the energy policy choice that we know we need to make now, one that is focused on reducing our carbon footprint, improving the climate, reducing our energy use, and most importantly, reducing our dependence on foreign fossil fuels and reducing energy costs, because liquefied natural gas is very expensive.
Do you have any idea why it would make sense to ship it into this country then?
I think there's people that have a product to sell, and the United States is alluring. I mean, we love to buy stuff, so I think it's just trying to corner a market. You know, they'll come up with some excuse and they'll corner a market. Interestingly enough, there are a number of liquefied natural gas facilities on the East Coast already, and there's more being built, and there are several being expanded. So even if we did need some liquefied natural gas, let's just say worst case scenario, the domestic supplies, something happens and we need to have some additional LNG to supplement us for a time. There are many ports along the East Coast and in the Gulf of Mexico that can provide us with that liquefied natural gas right now, even without building these new facilities. And one's in Maryland, one's in Georgia. Interestingly enough, there was one proposed in New Jersey on land in the Delaware River by British Petroleum, BP. And they recently pulled up stakes because liquefied natural gas is so expensive, and BP has realized that the citizens of the United States do not want to pay more for energy that they already have at a much cheaper cost.
You did the report, you did that in-house. One of the things I want to ask you about is Clean Ocean Action has been around for 25 years. You're the public face of it. Well, you are.
Changing, hopefully, but sometimes, yeah. You've been around longer,
Right.
That's what happens.
A little bit with Derry Bennett.
Yeah.
How is Derry?
He's good. Yeah. He's great. He's character.
Still active?
He's out there, he's in charge of special projects out at Sandy Hook, and he's still the chair of our board, and he goes fishing, and he keeps an eye on things, and he's still very active. Oh, yeah.
Well, but the organization itself, the entity, does a lot of different things. You have a PhD scientist, you have an attorney on staff. Give us some idea who's there on a daily basis.
It's a very professional team. It's a team of 9 folks that work very hard, and they feel, as we all do, very, very privileged to be able to work for such an amazing resource, the ocean. It's like, who do you work for? Oh, well, I work for the ocean. It's kind of it's a great job. And, it's hard work, but we're all very dedicated. And the staff bring different skills to the table. As you mentioned, we have a lawyer, an attorney, public outreach coordinator, a citizen action coordinator, a pollution prevention coordinator. And all these activities that we do, a lot of people know about the beach sweeps. We've been doing the beach sweeps now for 23 years. So we've collected a lot of stuff off the beaches, but we take those opportunities to educate people about how they can be a part of the solution to pollution. We do, we work to investigate sources of pollution where we can find them, and try to track back and find out where those sources are coming from. We do a number of programs to try to get citizens engaged in meaningful activities to reduce sources of pollution from their own homes. Some people don't realize that the fertilizers they put on their lawn or the pesticides are harmful. So we educate people about that.
Non-source point pollution.
Non-point source pollution, right.
My wife did a video about that.
She did a wonderful video.
About 20...
Yeah, some years ago.
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
Yeah, she's tremendous. Pat is terrific.
And I want to just acknowledge I have something of a conflict here.
Conflict? I don't think
well, she's on the board.
Right.
But you have a lot of people who work in this organization.
Right.
It's not just
it's a very professional, full-time staff, and we do a variety of programs. People can go to our website and see all the different projects that people can get involved in. Well, interestingly, one thing that's really catching on tremendously is bottle cap recycling. Aveda, which is this international corporation of salons that produce, more green and eco-friendly products, has found this wonderful scientist that has come up with a technology to recycle the caps on bottles. A lot of people don't. Yeah, the plastic ones on the tops. A lot of people don't realize that
they don't always go out with the recycling.
Yeah, they can't be recycled with the regular plastic bottle part, and a lot of times those they all get thrown away. But in addition to that, it can complicate matters for the recycling of the actual plastic bottle. So Aveda has kicked off this campaign, and we're getting hundreds of school children now collecting bottle caps to recycle them through the Aveda process.
What do they then do with them?
They actually turn them into the hair care products or the salon products packaging that they use at the store.
You know, you were one of your coworkers. You were saying he rides his bike from Asbury.
Right, Dave Byer, right? Our
but you were saying everybody who works there has started. They carpool now, and they've got a goal of reducing the amount of miles they have to drive.
Right.
You see people all over starting to pay more attention to issues like this?
I do. I think, particularly with the $4 a gallon gasoline, hopefully it has sparked something in people that they'll realize that they must continue. But, at the beginning of the year, we tried to do little things, and I think any business can start this idea and have an incentive program where, there's a party at the end of the year if you reach your goal. We had originally set out to, less than 1,000 miles was our goal.
How did you measure it?
For car miles that are, if you carpool, the miles to the office. That's how it was
So if
measured.
you're carpooling and you're not driving 20 miles, you get to throw 20 miles into that
exactly.
every day.
Right. So, and by June, we were over 2,000 miles, by June even. And some of the staff even rode their bikes in from either Red Bank or Asbury Park, Seagirt.
So they drive through Long Branch. You can tell them we're trying to figure out a new bike path so we make Ocean Boulevard safer.
I'm sure they'll like that.
That wasn't one of the ideas we had that worked.